Welcome to the Hollywood Persona Podcast. Here are your hosts, Mitch and Ant.
Hello and welcome to the Hollywood Persona episode 39 with Mitch and Ant. We have lots of movies to bring you today. I have seen a lot of movies. I'm excited. We're going to talk about Priscilla. I saw the Caine Mutiny court-martial, William Friedkin's last film. The Ant, who is here with me. How's it going, bud?
Hey, Mitch.
He saw the Marsh King's Daughter. I saw The Burial. We both watched the Now and Then short, which is based around the new Beatles song. So we're going to talk about that. I saw Mr. Dressup, The Magic of Make-Believe, which I will share some knowledge, Canadian knowledge with you on who that is. And I will also share my thoughts quickly on the Royal Hotel, You Hurt My Feelings in Nyad, which Anne has already talked about, but, that's good. And I don't know if you saw this below, Ant, but I
also saw, we're also reviewing Divinity.
Oh, and Divinity.
The Steven Soderbergh
I'm sorry.
Movie. No, that's okay.
So that movie, we didn't even hear it. Like, I didn't even know it was coming out, but it's Steven Soderbergh's new film.
It's cool, man. I cannot wait to talk about it.
Okay.
It has Bella Thorne in it.
Okay, yeah. Oh, we did talk about it.
Yeah, and it has it has a well-known adult actress in it too, which I wasn't expecting. It is something, man. I can't wait to review it. You got to see it. You'll have to see it. It's actually short too, but we'll talk about it in the review.
Yeah, we talked about it last week, but it's I didn't know it was Soderbergh until you said you were going to see it, and I saw on the poster.
Yeah, I thought it was you that told me it was Soderbergh. Because
no,
I was looking
don't
this
think
movie
so.
up, and even if you go on IMDb and look, his name really isn't anywhere unless you go into producer credits, and then you see it's there. So it's writer director is a name that hasn't done much. So
weird.
It's interesting. Yeah, I'll give you some details, and I think you'll eventually want to see it.
Yeah. And I did see the box movie that I picked like a month ago.
Oh yeah, the little black box. Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll talk about that. That's later. That's Sleeping Dogs from 1977.
Oh right, yeah.
But podcast business. Just wanted to say we're on YouTube. I try to post every episode on there. And last week I didn't do timestamps. I'm sorry, but I will this week. Just last week was crazy. So, and I just want to say, whatever you're listening to us on right now, rate and review us if you don't mind. Give us 5 stars. If you don't want to give us 5 stars, that's fine. Just let us know what we can do better. And then the one other little thing, I saw that 6 Feet Under is on Netflix now. That's like my favorite TV show of all time. So give that one a shot if you're looking for a series. It's got 5 seasons. It's a family who run a funeral home. I didn't want to put it. I didn't know where else to put it. So
yeah. No, I know of that series. Haven't seen it. It's one of those I've only heard good things said about it.
Yeah, it's quite lovely. So very interesting. So movie news. Sag-Aftra has been on strike for 3 months now and has received a new offer from the studios, and it is being called, quote, the last, best, and final offer. Last and final mean the same things, and if the actors say no, it won't be the last and final offer. Like, it just won't be. If the actors walk away from it, SAG-AFTRA's gonna. I mean, the studios are gonna have to come up with something better. They can't go without actors. So,
right.
SAG-AFTRA said, we are reviewing it and considering our response within the context of the critical issues addressed in our proposals. So we'll see. A lot of chatter has said that we could see the end of the strike this week.
I really hope so, man, because I was talking with a friend about Dune 2 and some other stuff, and because of the strike, stuff in March and next summer has been already moved. We talked about that last week on this episode, and I just I want it to end for us to be able to see good movies, but then also the health of the theater business. So let's hope this ends it.
something got pushed, and I was gonna put it in the movie news, but I thought everything's getting pushed, so
Yep.
I can't keep bringing up. No one's gonna remember anyways. It's just
Right.
we know the big ones that have already moved from this year. I think I'll report on anything that moves from this year or really early next year. Other than that,
Yeah.
just expect it to move.
Yep.
So we're gonna get into Priscilla later, the new movie about Priscilla Presley, but there's a lot of news surrounding this. Elvis's estate is not very happy with Sofia Coppola's new movie Priscilla, which we will. Oh, I wrote that. The movie doesn't shine a glowing light on the singer. The script drew criticism from Lisa Marie Presley, his daughter, who died in January of this year. Priscilla Presley wrote the book with a co-author that the movie is based on, and worked with Coppola. She's an executive
Yeah, I saw
producer, I
that.
think.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she is.
yeah, to make the movie. So I think that right there says this is her story. I doubt she embellished too much or lied. I don't
Yeah.
really. Sorry. Um,
No, I agree. Yeah, I guess finish this blurb and then I'll comment.
yeah. So this is what Sofia Coppola had to say to this. I quote, I don't really know what the relationship is between Priscilla and the estate, but I thought they would have a little more respect for her since she's such an important part of Elvis's story. I've since learned that they're just protective of the Elvis brand and not very supportive of any project that they're not controlling. I understand that they're business people, but I really do respect Elvis so much as an artist, and I think my film portrays him with some insight and sensitivity. Priscilla's book has also been out for a while, so I didn't think my film had too many surprises. These stories have been available for years, and I thought I could have gone a lot darker, to be honest, but I tried to handle it with a delicate touch. I think they're just trying to protect the Elvis brand or whatever, but I'm just going to focus on Priscilla. So I think Coppola's handling it well. And then just to kind of go back on what Lisa Marie Presley had said in an email to Coppola before, like when she had read the script and everything, she said, "quote My father only comes across as a predator and manipulative in the script. As his daughter, I don't read this and see any of my father in this character. I don't read this and see my mother's perspective of my father. I read this and see your shockingly vengeful and contemptuous perspective, and I don't understand why. I will be forced to be in a position where I will have to openly say how I feel about the film and go against you, my mother, and this film publicly." So that's everything kind of surrounding it. I think, as we see from the movie, Lisa Marie is at the very oldest 6 or 7, I think.
Yeah.
At the very oldest, maybe
Right.
5. So I know she obviously has an idea of what her parents were like, but they were divorced. Well, anyways. So,
Yeah.
what do you think?
I don't think he was portrayed all that bad in this movie.
No.
No, I really don't. I mean, we've seen worse from him in Baz Luhrmann's movie last year. I don't. I mean, it seems like just facts. I don't know. He
Yeah, I
didn't
don't really
seem
get
that
it
badly
either.
portrayed. I mean, we know he started dating her when she was 14. Like that's known. And in the movie, he's like reluctant to take the relationship any further, which, like Sofia Coppola just said here, she could have gone darker and further.
Yeah.
We see a little bit of maybe he gave her some pills and blah blah when she shouldn't have, but again, I just don't think it's portrayed that bad. We've seen much worse men to women in movies. And
I
then
doubt anyone who loves Elvis is going to see this and be like, well, fuck him now. I'm out.
Exactly. And this is like it says in the quote, or like you might have just editorialized, this is her story. So this is how she sees it. And like it says there, like that was in her book for forever. So,
Yeah.
I get it. They want to protect their estate. And then a lot of this stuff, I try and always keep it at arm's length just a little bit, because a lot of times this stuff is purposely done for publicity to drum up news about the movie, and I mean, I don't think in this case, maybe not because they're mad about it, but come awards time, the more press you can get, the better,
Yeah, that's true.
So
that is true.
I can see why they feel that way, but I really don't think it's that bad. I mean, everybody knows everything about Elvis by now, I think.
Oh yeah, we'll definitely get into it for sure.
Yeah.
I've got some thoughts on it all, but yeah.
All right, so next is Terrifier 2 returned to theaters November 1st with a teaser for Terrifier 3 at the end. Apparently, this new edition will take place at Christmas with Art the Clown dressed as Santa. It's slated for October 25th next year. So that's a pretty interesting and good release date because next year Halloween is on a Thursday. And you really want to put out a Halloween movie before Halloween because November 1st, it's over, right?
Yeah.
So October 25th is the Friday before Halloween. So
yeah.
That's funny.
Spot.
What do you think about this news story?
Yeah, and the director posted a picture with Art the Clown covered in blood and in a Santa outfit. So yeah, I think it'll be interesting because I think Art the Clown is such a character. So seeing him like dressed as Santa and stuff will be maybe a little creepier. I don't know. At least they're trying something different. They're not, they've tried something different with each movie.
Yeah.
So,
and I just hope he edits this one down a little better because that was really my main complaint about Terrifier 2 is just it went way too long.
Yeah.
All right. So a trailer for the Ryan Gosling, Emily Blunt movie called The Fall Guy has just been released, and test screenings have been very positive. This is a new movie from David Leitch, the John Wick director. And it's based on an 80s show with the same name that ran from 81 to 86. It has March 1st, 2024 release date.
Apparently people have been freaking out about this movie for like 2 years, like really excited for it. And I don't understand the hype, maybe because it's just Gosling and Blunt. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know because I don't recognize the name of that show at all.
No, me neither. That's why I'm like confused.
Emily Blunt's pretty intriguing in action movies, right? Like Tomorrow, Live, Die, Repeat she was amazing in, and Looper. So this could be cool. I wonder, do you remember who it was for? Was it a Netflix movie?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so it's like a studio
movie. I think it's a studio movie.
Studio. Good.
Yeah.
I think that's better because if it's a Netflix movie, then
that kind of sucks.
Probably not going to be good. Yeah. All right. So a trailer for Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes has dropped. Caesar is gone, and his son Cornelius now rules the apes. Currently, this one has a May 24th release date.
Didn't even know they were working on another one.
Neither did I, and I liked the most recent trilogy quite a bit, actually. I even liked that last one. I know it was a little controversial, but
I like them all.
This is cool to me. I like those. The technology is really good. Caesar was kind of the best part of it.
Yeah.
But Dumb Ape or whatever the like silly one was good. The big hulking gorilla one, like they're able to draw characters out of these apes that are good and fun to watch. So
I think what's interesting about this one is we are starting with like fully developed apes. We are no longer seeing like, them growing or learning. Like these are like, they are ruling the earth, and now they're like hunting humans. It looks really interesting. So
yeah, there's a lot of story to be told there with them building alliances between some humans and backstabbing and revenge. Yeah. This isn't the first one with James Franco and them in the cage and them first learning to be conscious and stuff, like is what you're saying, right? Yeah,
exactly.
All right, so next then, Matthew Perry was laid to rest yesterday, November 3rd, or 2 days ago, with the remaining Friends cast in attendance. That's very sweet. Good to hear that they were all there.
Yeah.
And then the last bit of news is Rotten Tomatoes holds this list of worst movies of all time, and most of them I think are all 0% on Rotten Tomatoes. So stuff like Gotti, Jaws, The Revenge. There's a couple, Cabin Fever.
The Patient Zero or whatever.
Yeah. I don't remember even hating that one. But it's been a long time. The Nutcracker from 2010. Dark Crimes. Oh my God, Dark Crimes. Did you see this one with Jim Carrey?
Never heard of it.
2016. It was like Jim Carrey's first one, like coming back to movies. I actually saw it in a theater, and it has Charlotte Gainsbourg. That's also 0%. The Ridiculous Six, 0%.
Oh, yeah.
Some bad ones. So they added to this Freelance, that new Alison Brie, John Cena movie that we mentioned on this podcast last week, I think.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so go take a look at that list.
I am right now.
Funny.
One missed call. I didn't know that was thought of so badly.
You've seen that?
No, well, no, but I've always like it's kind of been on my list. Like I
Okay.
thought, didn't think it was that bad.
Yeah, what else? Anything else pop out to you on that one?
I wow that poster for that Jim Carrey movie actually looks good.
Man, it's
Uh,
kind of weird. I don't remember
oh,
hating it.
this is the Cabin Fever remake. Yeah, I did not like that.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
Um, yeah, I don't know a lot of these,
Look who's
but
talking now.
it is funny to see freelance on there. Something so new. The Master of Disguise, that wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
Daddy Day Camp, that's disaster movie. Yeah, that's funny. Oh, One for the Money with Kristen Heigl.
Yep. Disaster movie. That one's on
Yeah,
there. Epic
Jack and
movie.
Jill. Well, oh, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey is on there.
Nice.
And I
Jack and
actually like
Jill. Adam
didn't
Sandler's
hate
Jack and
that.
Jill. Oh man, this hurts me to see this. Getaway from 2013 with my girl Selena Gomez is in it, and that is a bad movie. So
The
I
Fog.
get
Oh,
it.
I actually didn't mind that one from 2005.
That's
It's
the
a
remake, right?
remake.
Yeah.
Yeah, the original's better, but I didn't actually mind the. But oh
House of
yeah,
the
no.
Dead by Yui Boll.
Oh, and number 100 is M. Night Shyamalan's The Last Airbender.
Oh yeah, that deserves to
Oh,
be on there.
yeah, I haven't seen it.
All
But
right, well we can move on to box
box
office.
office, yeah.
Yeah, so a couple interesting pieces here for last weekend. So there was no big release. Priscilla added like 1,000 theaters, but other than that, nothing else new went wide. So we had Five Nights at Freddy's still at number one with almost 20 million, which was a 76% drop, which is a huge drop. But it's still doing great. It's made up 215 worldwide.
And it is the highest grossing horror movie that has gone into the first week of November.
Okay, that sounds right.
Yeah, so that was just a weird stat I saw today. It was like the highest grossing horror movie that was in theaters. Like it's the first one that's like been at number one and moved into the first week of November and still been number one. I don't know, kind of a silly one, but I just saw that. So
yeah, and I mean it had a $20 million budget, so it is doing great
oh
for
yeah,
them.
gangbusters.
So then Taylor Swift is number two still. I worked tonight at the theater and we had 3 showings of Taylor Swift and good 20 people in each one. People are still coming out to see this.
Jeez.
And I might have to go see this. So I have a friend group, but 2 friends, Laura and Brittany, and then my friend Ryan. They started a group text and they're like, "Y'all, we should go get like really drunk and go see that Taylor Swift movie. It'll be so fun." And while that would be fun normally, and I would be down for it, I feel like I have seen it so much already now because I've been around it so much that I'm like, oh, and it's 3 hours long. So I'm like, I might not do that, but they want to do it. So we'll see. So I might end up having seen it again. So then Killers of the Flower Moon behind it with 7 million in the third spot. Priscilla at 5.1 million in the fourth spot, and then Radical at 2.7, which this just shows you how bad the box office is. Not that Radical is a bad movie. I actually almost went to see it tonight, Mitch. It's Eugenio Derbez. I can't.
I don't know who that is.
Look the movie up. You'll recognize him. He's a Mexican or Latin comedian who's been in a few things that I've seen, and he's pretty funny. And this was a festival movie. It has really high ratings from critics and audiences. Yeah. But that normally a movie like this wouldn't be anywhere near the top 5. So it's just kind of funny that it's in the 5th spot. And then just other little notes is, Priscilla only had a $20 million budget. So that it'll probably make that back. And then Taylor Swift is at 231 million worldwide, which is just crazy. So she is right by, so the top grossing movies domestically, top 10 of the year. Indiana Jones is at 170 million and Taylor Swift is right behind it at like 155 million. So she will likely climb to be on the top 10 of grossing for 2023. So, and kick out what did I just say?
Indiana Jones. Yeah.
All right, so that wraps up the box office news there. So why don't we go into Priscilla, right?
Yeah, let's jump right into it. Movies.
Right. You want to set it up? Do you want me to?
I'll set it up. You've
Okay,
done
go ahead.
some talking there. So this movie starts out. We've got young teenage Priscilla. I can't say her original last name was Bulow or something.
Yeah.
So she's a young girl. She's in high school in Germany, and her family has like transferred over from the United States because her dad is a army sergeant, I think. Sorry if I've got that wrong.
Yeah, something like that.
And she's bored. She's 14 years old. She's bored, and a guy walks into the bar and sees her, thinks she's really pretty or something, and he's like, "Oh, me and my wife, we go over to Elvis's house all the time. Would you want to come to a party?" And she's so bored, and then all of a sudden she's excited to, she's invited to go to an Elvis's house and party. Not Graceland, but it's like because they're in Germany and he's there on tour. And so she goes and she
meets. He was there
meets.
serving in the military.
He was serving.
Yeah, because I don't think he toured. I don't think he toured outside the country. Remember from the last movie? It's not that important, but he was stationed there. Right. He was in Germany for some reason.
I know he did. Yeah.
He wanted to have he liked to have Americans around him because he felt homesick, right?
Yeah. So she goes to the house, and their romance starts, and she falls in love. He just maybe falls in love. And so this movie is the story of their relationship from the beginning to the end. And it's just that. It is based on a book called Elvis and Me, written by Priscilla Presley. And this movie is directed by Sofia Coppola and written by Sofia Coppola. And then, the book was also written by Sandra Harmon. She helped Priscilla write it. It stars Kaylee Spaney, that's probably not how you say her name, as Priscilla, and Jacob Elordi as Elvis. There's other people in this. Ari Cohen, Dagmara Dominic, whatever. Tim Post, Lynn Griffin. There's a lot of people. I didn't really recognize anyone else. Did you?
No. It's really Kaylee Spaney's show. And
yes.
Just to give listeners an idea, she was Dakota Johnson's Dakota Johnson's sister in the Bad Times at the El Royale Hotel that she like kidnaps and is trying to deprogram her. And she was in On the Basis of Sex, which I also saw. I think she played a young RGB or RBG.
Jane Ginsburg, yeah.
Yeah, I think she played the young version of her. And then she was in Vice, but I don't recognize. Oh, and she was also the little girl in Pacific Rim Uprising. Opposite of Boyega. Was it Boyega in the second one? Anyway,
yep. I know he was in one of them.
That's who she was, or who you would recognize her before. And then Jacob Elordi, I don't know anything about him. Tell me, do you know him from anything?
He looked really familiar, and I kind of looked at what he was in, and maybe just for the posters of The Kissing Booth.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He's the guy in The Kissing Booth. Yeah.
He's been in movies. Euphoria. He was in Deep Water with Ben Affleck last year.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
I did, but I don't remember who he is in that movie.
So I don't think we've really seen him, but he does look familiar. I think the Mortuary Collection. I did see that. So.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I did see that, so I might recognize him from there. But anyways.
Yeah, he's got that very square jaw, Hollywood, white man, hot-looking actor face for sure.
He's got a very CW, like TV CW look,
He's like Hallmark Christmas movie, perfect for that.
Vampire Diaries,
yes,
yeah.
Definitely. So what'd you think of the movie, Priscilla, overall?
It's okay.
Yeah, what's okay about it?
She's great. Obviously, Kaylee Spaney as Priscilla is great.
I thought so too. She was very good.
Very good
with what she's doing here.
Jacob Elordi, he was good. It's really hard to compare to Austin Butler from last year.
It was so hard for me to see him. Yeah. And he had such a good version of Elvis last year. Same. I just couldn't. I couldn't get past it. As the movie went on, I warmed up to it a little bit. Mm-hmm. But first seeing him, I'm like, oh, that's not Elvis. Like, that's not what. Yeah. So that was. It
bothered me for like a good half an hour, 40 minutes, and then finally I was kind of like, okay, my mind, I just have to accept that that's Elvis.
Same.
And it was fine. Like he was doing a fine job, but I like it's not Oscar worthy. It's not, you know.
No. And the Baz Luhrmann one, he sings in it, right? I mean, he's
Yeah.
dancing in it. Whereas here it's more scenes in the bedroom, scenes in the living room,
Well,
scenes
and
around the house.
there's not a single Elvis song in the movie.
I don't
Like
think so.
like
Maybe
I
there's at the end of the movie he's on stage and we see him from behind. You remember that scene? Maybe that's a
mm,
song.
yeah, maybe. I
He's
don't
wearing
remember
that
that.
white cape that he raises
Yeah.
up. Um,
I think they had trouble getting the rights
that would make sense. Yeah.
because they play a lot of other music from the time.
They do,
Um,
which I recognized the Ray Charles song, which I love. And
yeah,
there was a
yeah,
couple other songs I heard that I want to look up because I do like that music from
yeah.
time to time, that 50s, 60s
Me too.
old music.
I think it ended with a really great song, but I don't really want to give that away.
Oh,
Um,
right. Yep,
I
yep.
think that was I at first I was like, really, we're doing this, and then I was like, oh no, actually, that it's working on me.
Okay, yep.
Um, but the movie is too long. Could have been a half an hour shorter. I find we found her doing the same thing over and over again.
I would agree.
She's depressed. She is not happy. She is kept at home and looked after and watched, and she is basically told that you know, Elvis even says, "Oh, honey, you got to stay there and keep the home fires burning, honey.
Right.
So when I come home, you're there when I need you." And she's seeing newspaper articles of her. Like, there's even one newspaper article where, like, it says he got engaged to somebody else,
Right, right.
and she's like, "What the fuck is going on?" The one thing I noticed is he never responds to her saying "I love you" or "I miss you."
I noticed
She
that too.
yeah, she ends every call with "I love you" or "I miss you," and he just says, "I'll
Goodbye,
see you
baby.
later, honey,"
Yeah.
um, it's it you, I it's neat seeing her through seeing it through her eyes. She's definitely very young, but I think that was more the time. It's something that not a lot of people have brought up until her book kind of came out, and
Right.
in the recent years. Um, I was very surprised to find out that she's 26 in real life.
Yeah,
Um,
that was impressive. They must do some effects things or shoot her. The first scene where
I
she
don't
goes into
know.
Graceland, she's very short. She's much shorter than everyone there, and I
Yeah,
think they must do some kind of trickery having her be a step down. But yeah, the way they present her hair, makeup, clothing, she
yeah,
does look extremely young. So I think that's a really positive thing for this movie for the effects they were able to pull off with her.
yeah. And Coppola, she's got a great eye. Like, this movie looks beautiful. Graceland is done so well. I've never been there, but I want to go. Um, and yeah, you know what I said? If this movie was made 5 years ago, it would have been Shailene Woodley in this role.
Yeah,
I kept
probably.
thinking that the whole time.
Yeah.
Um, but
Yep.
I think overall it's too lengthy. It kind of repeats itself. And my biggest problem with the movie, and this is probably my only problem, I'm probably the only one who has this problem, but the movie is called Priscilla, and the movie starts and ends with Elvis. It's like her movie doesn't start until Elvis shows up, right? It's just I find it a little depressing that the movie's called Priscilla, and and the movie literally ends when things end with, or I don't want to give things away, but it's only her time with Elvis.
I completely agree, Mitch. I left this movie thinking, I know nothing about Priscilla. I know
Mm-hmm.
barely anything about this woman.
Mm-hmm.
And it was about an hour in where I'm like, well, where's the conflict? Where's the drama? What, like, like you said, we're seeing the same stuff over and over.
Yeah.
So yeah, I actually really didn't like this movie. I was pretty disappointed by it. I've liked Sofia Coppola's movies before this, On the Rocks, The Beguiled, of course, Lost in Translation.
Right.
I really
Yeah.
enjoy. Um, Mary Antoinette is good. So this was disappointing, really disappointing. And yeah, like this story is about Elvis a lot, and we don't get much of her interior. I mean, we see a little
Mm-hmm.
bit with her face, but like you said, we only meet her when she meets Elvis, and then we leave her when she leaves Elvis, basically.
Yeah.
And Yeah,
There's
so
no.
there's not much more depth to learn about her. And another thing was this movie made Elvis look almost asexual. Like their romance, their love,
It was
there was
weird.
none of it. Very weird. Like he wouldn't have. So early on, I guess this isn't really a spoiler because early on he won't have sex with her right away, and that is seen as a good thing probably because he's 14 and I don't know how old he is, but he's definitely way too
He
old to be
was like
getting.
26 or 27 when they met.
Wow, wow.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing. But as the film goes on, he's still kind of resistant to that. And and
And
then
she
yeah,
wants to make love
yeah,
with the
yes,
person she loves.
exactly. She's pushing for it, and maybe at 14, of course, she wasn't ready for it, but they've been talking, see each other for years, and so she's 16, 17, 18. And we don't really get any insight into their sexual relationship, and maybe that's better for the film, but no, it's not because that's something I think we're curious about. People want to know,
Well, the
and
movie
that
spends a lot of time on it. It's
we spend
the
so much
movie
time in their bed,
in bed.
but they
Yes.
never do anything.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
and so, yeah, like I said before, this didn't make him seem to be that bad of a guy. Again, maybe
I
my
do. I do think it didn't make him look good
no,
for
no.
like. I
But I
mean,
think he throws things. He loses his temper sometime, but he doesn't ever physically assault her directly, right?
yeah,
He
just
doesn't treat
definitely.
her well. He's very manipulative
Mhm.
emotionally.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly. Yeah,
But then,
and
at some point when she's 21 or 22 or whatever, she's a woman. She makes her own choices. At some
yeah.
point the blame has to come, not blame, but she needs to take control of her own life and say, I'm not happy with this guy. I need to move on, right?
I
But
did like to
yeah.
see her. I like to see her grow that backbone, but it didn't happen gradually enough. It just kind of all of a sudden happened.
Right. Right.
And it like I didn't see it grow. Like the whole movie, she's like, "Yes, Elvis, I'll do anything, Elvis. Okay." Like, "Oh, you want me here? Okay." And then finally, it just seems like, "Okay, I've grown a backbone all of a sudden, and I'm
Yep.
going to be my own person."
I'm making
And
changes
it's
now.
like, well, and this is a movie that I felt like the creators maybe said, "Oh, we don't need any title cards at the end." But what about the people who don't really know who about like what happened to
Oh,
Priscilla?
so I
Like
was shocked. There was no, here's a picture of
nothing.
current day. Here she went on to do this and that. Nothing, just
Yeah,
rolls credits. It's
nothing.
like,
Rolls
fuck,
credits.
really?
Yeah.
And I'm surprised. I think this is 84% on Rotten Tomatoes. We're missing something that the critics are seeing.
I think this movie is just. I think I don't know if we're gonna see it at the Oscars. Maybe her for Best Actor. I don't know production design,
Yeah,
but
I do want to say I think the clothing was incredible. I have been to Graceland. I've toured it,
oh
and
wow,
a lot of
that
it
was.
looked very familiar from what I remember. So they either recreated it. They must have recreated it because
I doubt they got.
the family wouldn't let them.
No.
Yeah. But a lot of it's very, very familiar from what I remember in visiting Graceland. So
Yeah.
that was cool. Really cool cars.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the sets, the costumes, the hair, the makeup, that all was perfectly done. And I want to give the movie credit for that.
I
But
think like
the
with
story
Rotten
was just
to
boring.
Sorry, I
Yeah,
think
no,
with
go
Rotten
ahead.
Tomatoes, it's more they were like it's. I think everyone's can give this a pass. I'm 3 stars on this. I was 3.5, but the more I've thought about it, the more I've picked it apart and disliked it. And stars would be a pass on Rotten Tomatoes, right?
Right, right.
Or so it's like I think everyone's kind of like yeah, it was pretty good, but come awards time, I think a lot of critics are gonna have forgotten about it.
Yeah, I
I
think it's
doubt we'll
very
see it
forgettable.
on top 10 lists.
Yeah, I'm at 2 stars. And my
Okay.
2 stars is because the acting strong and the costumes and everything else I
Yeah.
just said. Those are really, really strong, and I don't want to take away from that. Even the cinematography, as I
Yeah,
mentioned,
it's
there's a
great.
shot of him on stage where his cape's opening up and the light, he's blocking the focus light. So there's a lot
Yes.
of really cool shots where like, damn, that's really beautiful looking. And then the last thing that I want to say was in the United States, this is rated R, and I can't figure out why. There is no nudity. I think they
Yeah.
say the F word once, which you're allowed to in a PG-13 movie,
Hmm.
and there's no like what was I don't know, the drugs, but they don't really even do drugs on screen. It's like a pill. He hands her a pill and she takes it,
They
right?
that LSD scene was so out of place. Like that was something that could have been
Yeah.
cut. Like why did we need that? We were already kind of through the whole drug thing.
Yes.
I think the reason it got I don't know why
Maybe
it
it
got
was
rated
the
R.
drug use. You're right. Maybe
It
it was
was
the
the
drug
drug
use.
use, but even still,
Yeah, it's pretty mild. Pretty
we don't
mild
even
movie.
we don't even really know what drugs they're doing.
No, we just see
We're
pills.
just guessing. We see pills, something to keep her awake, something to help her
Help her
sleep.
sleep. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, and then she kind of stops that on her own, which is like, okay, good for you. But yeah, I'm 3 stars. You're
Yeah, I'm
2.
too. I think it's forgettable. I think if we come back in 6 months and
Hmm.
ask those that really review this highly, have you watched it again? Will you watch it again? I think they'd say, no, no, not much more. Like, I would much rather go back and watch the Baz Luhrmann one
Yeah,
before
yeah,
this one, because that one's exciting, good editing. There's lots of
yeah.
music in it. Yeah, and
Even
you
though
know,
I, sorry, even though I
you
don't
make a
like,
good point about focusing too much on Elvis. This is called Priscilla. We should learn more about her as a person, not just while she was with Elvis.
yeah,
And what were
and
you going to say?
I think the title of her book was called Elvis and Me. I think that's a better title
Yep.
because then it's like, yes, this is Elvis and me. This is
Right.
our story.
Story.
And then
Yep.
to call this Priscilla, and then it's all about her with Elvis. I was like, it just for me it didn't click in my head, especially when we live in a world where it's like let's lift women up beyond the men they're with.
Right. And let's tell
And
women's stories. And you have Sofia
yeah,
Coppola, who's a well appreciated
yes,
director for telling women's stories. And her
exactly.
story is just about Elvis, or a lot about Elvis. So
Yeah. So
yeah, I didn't not a fan. We'll
not
forget.
not a, exactly. I,
Yeah.
I I think beyond like the aesthetic, I won't remember too much from this. I think I'll
Same.
look back and think, God, she was beautiful. They did great with her hair and stuff
Yep.
like that, but whatever. So the Caine Mutiny Court Martial. I've been trying to watch this one for a while. This is Mr. William Friedkin's final movie. He just died a couple months ago. You will know him. He directed The Exorcist and French Connection. Um, it is based on a play from 1953, which is also based on a novel. It stars Kiefer Sutherland, Jason Clark, Monica Raymond, and Lance Reddick, also in his final role. He died this year as well. So I'll give you the plot here. When a U.S. naval captain shows signs of mental instability, or does he, that jeopardizes the safety of his ship, the first officer relieves him of command and faces court-martial for mutiny.
Okay.
Um, so,
So before you continue,
mhm.
I know that there is a movie from the 50s called The Caine Mutiny. Did you know that?
Yeah, I don't really understand what
The
all that
connection
is.
here? Yeah.
Is I don't know if I
It's a
didn't.
World War II movie. It has Humphrey Bogart in it. I haven't seen it, but I
Yeah, me
know of it
neither.
because The Simpsons did a parody called The Canine Mutiny.
Oh,
Um, and that's the only reason I know about it. So seeing this title, I always wondered, like, was this related to that one? So
that's why
anyway,
I was trying to understand um that because when I looked, it said it's just based on the play, and so maybe that movie took the because this is like the court martial,
right. Okay,
and
so
so
there's
this
like a
is
court procedural kind of movie.
literally you are in the courtroom from the moment it opens until like the final scene, and then there's like a little bit after that isn't in the courtroom, but the rest of the time you're in the courtroom.
Okay.
We start with U.S. Naval Captain Lieutenant Commander Queeg. He's captain of the USS Caine, played by Kiefer Sutherland. I really liked what he was doing here. He was like doing something with his mouth over here, and he's like, Anderson on the Film Vault said he kind of sounded like Norm Macdonald.
Okay.
I didn't really get that, but and so he's on trial here, and this Jake Lacey, who some people will know as Plop from The Office, um, he plays Lieutenant Merrick, and Merrick is this one who he took over, and there was a cyclone. He says you are not physically fit. He took over that morning because he felt like the commander was not doing his job right. Um, so then you got
So that's the
Jason.
mutiny.
Yeah, but we don't see any of that. No flashbacks, nothing. We see Jason Clark. He is a lieutenant, but he is Merrick's defense attorney. And then you have Lieutenant Commander Chally. She is the lead prosecutor. So she's trying to defend Queeg. Um, Yeah, I this movie is dry and straightforward, but I really liked it.
Okay.
I was into it. You're in a courtroom for 100 minutes, and yeah, it's really good. Jason Clarke does a good job. I think he always does a good job.
Yeah, he's like quietly a fantastic character actor. I mean,
Yeah,
Oppenheimer, he was awesome in earlier this year, right?
yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, what was that? Sorry,
I said earlier this year he was in Oppenheimer and he was excellent and he
Oppenheimer.
was such a dick.
Yeah. Um, There's the lead prosecutor Monica Raymond. I didn't love her acting. I
Okay.
really liked Sutherland. I thought he was doing I think you're either gonna love his performance or not. Um, but I found this like a really interesting kind of look at mental health and what they're trying to say about it. Like, was he mentally fit? Was it okay that he wasn't a little mentally fit? You know, uh, the the female, the lead prosecutor, she goes into some stuff about mental health, and they have some experts, psychologists on, and they are talking about, well, we're all a little crazy, like, we all got our own things.
Hmm.
I just really liked the script. I think it was tight and well done, and it's got an ending that will kind of shake you. And
Okay.
yeah, the ending is really intriguing. So if you like court procedurals, I would give this a shot. It's good. I get
Where is it seen?
it is streaming on Paramount Plus and Showtime now.
Do you have any interest in checking out that Humphrey Bogart one?
Yeah, I'm gonna look into that a little bit.
Yeah, I
Maybe.
mean,
Well,
see if maybe it's the same thing and they just remade it because that one, the 50s one, I think is based on the book as well. So maybe this is
okay.
just a different interpretation of it. Um, but yeah, I'm curious about it too. So okay, that's cool. Did you
Yeah.
say what you would rate it?
I gave it 4 stars. Maybe I'm a little higher because
No, that's
Friedkin's
okay.
gone now, and
Yep.
sorry, just getting updates on my mom as we. Sorry. Okay. Um. Yeah. What was I saying? I apologize, Dad. Yeah.
No, I was just you were saying what you rated it, and
Yeah. Maybe a little higher because Friedkin's passed and this is his last movie, but I think it's really good. And if you like court dramas, you're gonna love it. I think
cool. Yeah,
it's yeah.
I do, especially after Anatomy of a Fall with that courtroom stuff was so good. I'm like, yeah, I need some more court dramas in my
Yeah.
life.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, so why don't you talk to us about
Yeah, I can do the Marsh
the
King's
Marsh
Daughter
King's
next.
daughter? Yeah.
Yeah, all right. So the Marsh King's Daughter is a 2023 movie by Neil Berger, starring Daisy Ridley. Neil Berger did Limitless, that one with Bradley Cooper. He also
I
did
like
that.
that one.
I did too. I did too. He did Divergent. He did The Upside, that one with Bryan Cranston and Kevin Hart. Do you remember that?
I never saw it,
It
but
was cute. It was
yeah.
cute. And then he did Voyagers. I don't know if you saw that one. Oh, he also did The Illusionist, but Voyagers was 2021. It had Ty Sheridan, Lily Rose Depp,
Oh no,
Colin
I never saw
Farrell.
that one.
Yeah, I liked that one, but it didn't get that good of reviews. Actually, it looks like I only gave it 2 stars. Um, but yeah, so Berger has a decent career directing with some interesting movies, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So it's written by Mark L. Smith, and then a woman named L. Smith.
Oh, okay.
But this is based on the book, The Marsh King's Daughter, and it really reminds me quite a bit of Where the Crawdads Sing.
Yeah.
So, like I said, stars Daisy Ridley, Ben Mendelsohn is her dad, and that's about all you'd recognize. Oh, Brooklyn Prince from the Florida
Yes.
Project. She plays Daisy Ridley when she was a kid.
Mhm.
So here's the plot synopsis, and then I'm going to give a little more detail. So Helena, a woman living a seemingly ordinary life, hides a dark secret. Her father is the infamous Marsh King, the man who kept her and her mother captive in the wilderness for years. After a lifetime of trying to escape her past, Helena is forced to face her demons when her father unexpectedly escapes from prison. So I went into the movie knowing none of that. So I was quite surprised when the movie opens with Daisy Ridley, Ben Mendelsohn, and her mother in a cabin in the woods. And he's a great father. He's teaching her awesome lessons, teaching her how to shoot and hunt and survive in the wilderness. A man comes up on a 4x4 asking for directions, like, hey, I got lost in the trail. And then, yeah, this is all in the plot synopsis. So then the father like shoots this guy.
Okay.
And the mother's like, holy shit, we gotta go. So she grabs the daughter and they jump on this four-wheeler and ride out to the woods to go to the cops, because as the plot synopsis said, the dad kidnapped the mother, impregnated her, and had the daughter, and they had been living this life in the woods. And the mother had been just there really to not escaping, because she wanted to protect their daughter and keep her safe. So that's how the movie starts, right? And then we jump forward in time to where the dad's in prison, as we just said. He eventually escapes, and Daisy Ridley is living a different life. She has a husband and a daughter. The husband doesn't know her past. Nobody knows her past. She hides the tattoos she was given at a young age and explains them away. She's changed her name and everything. But yeah, her dad escapes from prison one day.
Oh, he escapes, or
okay. Yep. He's given quite a long sentence, and he escapes. And so now it's like, fuck, is he going to try and find me and our daughter? Because she doesn't talk to him, she doesn't visit him. Like they're totally separate. Yeah. But part of her is like, oh, it was my dad. When the mom grabs her and says we got to go, she's like, what do you mean? Why are we leaving dad? Like, yeah. According to her as a kid, and that's where the conflict and the drama comes from, is the struggle where she's about 12 when she finds out the truth.
And I don't know, is it a spoiler or not to tell me if the mother is still alive?
It's not really a spoiler. No, the mother, we don't see this in the movie. We're just told this. So the mother eventually couldn't go on with life. I'll just say it like that. Okay. So the mother is completely excised from the movie. Okay. Once she goes to the cops. Yeah. Once she goes to the cops, and once we're with Daisy Ridley, her mom is never around. So unfortunately, this just doesn't come together. There's just not enough here, and I don't know if that's the book's fault or the movie's fault, but Daisy Ridley seems like she can't really find a really good role after Star Wars, right? She was in Murder on the Orient Express. She was in Chaos Walking, which was terrible. Remember that movie, Chaos Walking? I didn't even see it, but it was so bad. Then she was also in The Bubble. Do you remember that one? That was 2020. People hate that movie. So so she really can't. And she was in that movie Ophelia, which was that whole Rotten Tomatoes scandal about them. Right? So she just hasn't been able to find a role, and I feel kind of bad for her after that, because she does a pretty good job here. She has to show quite a bit of emotion, and she's not the problem with the movie. Yeah, so overall, I would skip it. It's very forgettable. Again, not much happens. Ben Mendelsohn is fun as the villain always, and I would even say Where the Crawdads Sing is better than this, because you get a little more detail about their characters, and that wasn't even that good of a movie. So if you read the book, go for it. If you didn't, I would skip this one. That's the Marsh King's daughter, and I gave it 2 stars.
It's that Star Wars curse. I mean, Mark Hamill and Carrie Fisher, and then Hayden Christensen, and the only people who kind of made it were Harrison Ford and Natalie Portman, and Ewan McGregor, obviously. But John Boyega's making a comeback. Yeah. And then John Boyega, he's been able to do some great work. Remember him in Breaking? Yeah. And then Anderson loved that one. This year's they cloned Tyrone. So yes. Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see. I hope she finds something, because she's decent. It is hard to look at her and not see Rey Skywalker. Yeah. But she wasn't the problem here. She has said that she is going to return to the role. She said that a while ago. Oh, really? Okay. Rey Skywalker. So we'll see. I mean, why not, right? It's probably fun to film, and I'm sure it pays well. So tell us about The Burial. This is one I really wanted to see. So The Burial is a 2023 American legal drama film directed by Maggie Betts. I don't know what else she's done, but I was happy to see a female's name at the end. It is loosely based on the true story of a lawyer named Willie E. Gary, played by Jamie Foxx, and his client, his first white client, Jeremiah Joseph O'Keefe III, and they have a lawsuit against the Lowen Funeral Company.
Okay.
And this was a New Yorker article turned into a movie. So it's Jamie Foxx, Tommy Lee Jones, Journey Smollett,
Yep.
Mamadou Afi, and Bill Camp, who we saw in Sound of Freedom this year. So it's 1995. Tommy Lee Jones' character, Joseph O'Keefe, he has 8 funeral homes in Mississippi, and he's in some financial trouble. So he goes to this big funeral home company. They own like hundreds of funeral homes, and he's interested in the funeral home buying 3 of his funeral homes to try to like make him keep him afloat and make sure his family has some his business once he dies. And he's just very focused on what he leaves behind for his family. He's got 13 kids.
Damn.
And a ton of grandkids, and he's a family man. And he's got this. He has a lawyer, and he is played by Alan Ruck, who you would know as Cameron in Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Okay.
And yeah, but they're in Mississippi, and Mr. O'Keefe, played by Tommy Lee Jones, he knows that Mississippi's got a lot of black people, and the jury's going to be made up of a majority of a black crowd. So they go to Willie O'Keefe, and sorry, not O'Keefe, Gary, Willie E. Gary, and they hire him. It takes a little while because this guy is a big baller. He's got his private jet. He's a fancy lawyer, and he only really does things for black people.
So he's charismatic. It looks like he is very, on the poster.
Yeah, very charismatic. Tommy Lee Jones goes to one of his things at the beginning and in one of his court cases and watches them, and he's very like, no, like this guy, like he's defending a drunk driver, and he wins the case like this at the beginning. He's like, I know this guy was driving drunk and he's paralyzed, but the 18-wheeler didn't see him. And like he wins. It's like crazy. He wins the case, and it's like, but he was drunk and driving. It's 95, so I guess it was a different time.
Sure.
So he hires them. They're gonna do this case. The reason they're gonna do the case, it's all a little confusing. He signs a contract to sell the 3 funeral homes, and it doesn't happen. And this guy doesn't back out of the deal, but it had only been signed on one end, and he's trying to run him out of business so essentially he can buy all 8. I think kind of thing. He knows
so
if
a contract dispute.
Exactly. It's contract dispute law, and so Tommy Lee Jones says, "Yeah, I just want, I want 8 million, blah blah," and Gary says, "Nope, we're asking for 100 million."
Right.
This movie is fun. The first 45 minutes to an hour just kind of zooms by. It's great. We're getting to know the characters. There's some interesting, and then the middle half an hour slows right down to a crawl. They really try to humanize the characters, which I already felt like they had done a good job. Like I really liked Tommy Lee Jones' character and Jamie Lee Foxx's character. But the middle part of this movie feels like a completely different movie. And then the end of the movie is kind of so paint by numbers that, it kind of goes downhill. And again, this is another court drama.
Yeah, I was going to say, is the majority spent in the courtroom, like Caine Mutiny?
Most of it, probably 80% of it.
Okay.
And you know what? There's a lot of good stuff in here. This is one I would suggest to anybody's parents. I think this is a good one. I'm 3.5 on it because I think it was still a lot of fun, but just What was interesting, I thought, about this movie is you get to see both sides. So eventually we meet the Journey Smollett is her name,
Yeah.
and she is the defendant for the other side.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was going to ask about.
Yes, and so when she comes in, we get a lot of her, and I found that interesting to kind of show us both sides of the court, and because you think it's just going to be all about Jamie Foxx, but we see kind of what she's doing. We see her privately talk to her counsel and her stuff. So I found that interesting. So it's a 3.5, a little bit above average. I would recommend it, but yeah, and it's it's kind of yeah. I won't say any more than that, but yeah,
Okay.
it's good.
And
It's on
Netflix,
Prime.
right? Oh,
It's on
Prime.
Prime right now, so you can. It was not dropped there on October 13th, so check it out if it seems like it's up your alley. Yeah,
Yeah, this is one I want to see. I really do.
yeah.
As you know, I love Jamie Foxx, and I want to see everything he does. So,
I think you'd get a lot out of it with him, yeah, for sure.
all right. So
Um,
then next is the Now and Then short. So you asked me to watch this, and
yeah,
I did.
yeah.
So do you want to talk about it?
So Now and Then is they're touting this as the last Beatles song, and they released a short to go along with it. Paul McCartney and Ringo are obviously the last two Beatles members, so I just thought this is very current. Just kind of was dropped 4 days ago, and it is a song that Yoko brought to Paul and said, "Hey, this is what John was working on," and they got George Harrison and they said, "Okay, well maybe in the '90s, maybe we can record this," but then they didn't have the technology, and then you know, uh, now in 2022, they're like, "Let's go back to it." Like Paul McCartney comes to them, and as we know, not Paul McCartney, Peter Jackson, sorry, the director of Lord of the Rings, and Let's Get Back, that documentary of the Beatles that came out last year or the year before, I
Yeah,
think.
2 years ago, 21.
Yeah. So he said to Paul, he said, "Well, we have the technology. We can get this to be a song."
Yeah, the problem
And
with the recordings that Yoko brought was it's on a cassette tape that he recorded
mm-hmm,
before he died, but he's playing the piano in it as well. And
mm-hmm,
so they can't, back in the 90s, they couldn't extract just the vocals
yeah,
without getting the piano with it. So they
yeah,
gave up on it. And now in 2022, they
yeah,
enlist Peter Jackson to help them do it.
yeah.
And I
And
immediately thought of They Shall Not Grow Old because
me too. Yeah.
of the just the technology that what is Peter Jackson's studios called? Do you remember?
Wingnut, isn't it? Wingnut?
Yeah,
Or am I crazy?
something like that. But he has some incredible people and
Oh,
tools.
Weta.
Weta, yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
it.
yeah.
And
So,
they're able to then separate the vocals from the piano so they can
mhm.
finish this song, and it's pretty cool because it's truly a Beatles song with all of them. And now
Mhm.
that also who's the second one to die?
George Harrison
Yeah.
passed
So Harrison
in
has since passed. So now it's
96 or
just
no,
two of them.
2001.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
And so now they're trying to actually finish the song with all four vocals and make a song out of nothing,
yeah.
And
But since they worked on it in '95, they have some of what George did.
yes.
Obviously, they have John Lennon's vocals, and then Paul does the bass and guitar. He does some backing vocals. Ringo does the drums. It is truly the last Beatles song, and I just thought I don't know, are you a Beatles fan?
Yeah, I like the Beatles. I like a lot of the
Yeah,
Beatles. I had a phase where I went through and listened to all of it, and yeah, I love the Beatles. How could you not? There's so many good
I
songs.
yeah, I like their stuff more that's like this, a little slower, a little deeper, like Let It Be and stuff like that. I didn't love their sillier stuff, but Yellow Submarine, but and this is a good short. It'll give you the goosebumps, like because it's they're the Beatles and no one's ever going to be the Beatles again. So
So my question finishing this was, is this a preview to the movie?
nope, that's it. They
This
just
is
put
just them making that song.
this is a preview to the song.
Okay.
So I don't know if you listened to the song at all, or if you just listened to it. There was parts of it in the.
Yeah, I only heard it in the short.
Yeah, I like it. It to me, the song is very. It sounds like Simon and Garfunkel mixed with like Bowie almost. Like if I was gonna, it almost doesn't sound crazy Beatlesy, but now we have proof that it was a Beatles song, a John Lennon
Yeah.
true song. So
Okay. I'll add it to my playlist and listen to it.
it's a little slower, but it's got heart. It really has heart, and seeing the behind the scenes makes it even feel like it has more heart.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I'm gonna quickly talk about Mr. Dressup.
Yeah, what is this?
So Mr. Dressup in '67, I think it was, he came to Canada with Fred Rogers. Mr. Rogers.
I was gonna say this very much gives me Mr. Rogers vibes.
Yeah. So, and they were good buddies, and Mr. Dressup, his name is Ernie Combs. He came over here, and he started his own kind of Mr. Rogers show. First, it was called Butternut Square, and then eventually it was called Mr. Dressup.
Okay.
And Mr. Dressup is a Canadian icon. He is our Fred Rogers.
Gotcha.
Like literally to the point, like I haven't talked to anyone in Canada my age or older who likes Fred Rogers more than Mr. Dressup. He is
Gotcha.
and they embody the exact same kindness and love, and he's such a sweet man. He died in 2001. His show, so this is a documentary on him. He served in the military in 1945 as a weatherman, and then he came to Toronto with Mr. Rogers in 1962. Mr. Rogers did a show in Toronto. They were doing a show in Toronto, but Mr. Rogers wanted to go back to Pittsburgh, so he gave the show to Mr. Dressup, or Ernie, and yeah. This is a kind of talking heads. We got archival footage of Fred. We got archival footage of Ernie, Mr. Dressup, and we get some prominent Canadians here talking about Mr. Dressup, like Michael J. Fox.
I saw his name. Yeah,
Eric McCormick from Will and Grace, Graham Greene, the Bare Naked Ladies. A lot of them who, like Michael J. Fox, basically says like, this man got me into acting. This man made me realize what acting could be. He is a big influence in Canada, and there's probably 1 million American, like 10 million Americans who don't even know who he is, and so he did 4,000 episodes over 30 years of television.
Holy
shit!
And
then he did retire, and so he's a legend around here. So I just thought I watched the documentary. And he made it on my top 5 Canadian characters on the film vault I did.
Cool.
Because of this documentary. So tell us about Divinity. Oh, I gave it 4 stars. I would say that it kind of drags in the middle. Like it didn't need to be as long as it did. And it doesn't hold up to the Fred Rogers documentary, but if you love Mr. Dressup, you're gonna have a good time. So 4 stars.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay,
Divinity.
yeah, so Divinity. This was really, really cool. It's a 2023 movie directed by Eddie Alcazares. I don't know what he wrote and directed this. He has like 4 or 5 other movies that are similar looking, at least in quick glance. This is black and white. It's shot on 16 millimeter, so it is really beautiful, grainy movie footage. This has Bella Thorne. She's not really the main character, but we have Stephen Dorff and Scott Bakula, who you should know both of those names.
I do.
Stephen Dorff was in Blade, Public Enemies, a whole bunch of stuff. He's very well known. Cold Creek Manor, Bucky Larson, which is on that worst movies of all time list. He's in that. Deuces Wild, and then Scott Bakula, of course, American Beauty, Source Code, Behind the Candelabra. What else? Oh, Quantum Leap. He was very famous in that.
And was this not directed by Soderbergh?
No, it wasn't. That's what I was saying earlier. Is
Oh, I was
is
confused.
yeah, no, it's just produced by him, and his
Okay,
name is just like barely in there, produced by him. So
gotcha.
Mitch and anyone listening, go look up the poster for this. Pull this up on Letterboxd just while I'm talking about it, so you can kind of see what I'm talking about, because it is
Okay.
just wild. So here is the plot synopsis. Two mysterious brothers abduct a mogul during his quest for immortality. Meanwhile, a seductive woman helps them launch a journey of self-discovery. So the movie opens up with our character futzing with computers and liquids. He's trying to figure out the key to immortality, and they call it Divinity. It comes in a perfume bottle. You put a couple drops in your mouth, and your brain and body stops aging. So it's the key to immortality, right?
Wow.
And then these two kind of Latino-looking brothers, Moses Arias and Jason Genau, show up to his house and basically abduct him. They, shoot him with some futuristic gun and then tie his ass up, and then they hook him up to the juice. And he's screaming about, you can't, this is pure, this is concentrate, you can't hook me up to this, it'll kill me. What do you guys want? Do you want money? Do you want digital currency? And they kind of don't really answer him. They just leave him connected to the drip of his own medicine or his own product, and kind of then take over his house. They start eating his food. This hired escort comes over, and she kind of has sex with both of them. She thinks they're the ones that ordered her, but really it was Steven Dorff, the main character, the scientist. And then she finds him, and she maybe helps him get out, but doesn't really work. But man, so this movie is just crazy, crazy, wild, and weird. It has like really ethereal visuals, like you're looking at a pulsing brain, and again, it's in black and white, and it's like opening up. It reminded me
That's
a lot
cool.
of Beyond the Black Rainbow. Do you
I
remember that
never
movie?
saw that one. No.
Yeah, the visuals look a lot like that one. Or Mandy, that's another one that the
Oh
same
yeah, Mandy.
Cosmos
Yep.
Panopoulos did, Beyond the Black Rainbow and Mandy. And so yeah, the scenery is just really striking and beautiful. And these twins that come to hold him up, they get launched from space. We see these lights come down out of the sky, hit the ground, and they kind of just pop up and start walking. So we're definitely in the future here, but there's a lot of old tech. There's some old computers, old phones. So it's kind of like timeless. We don't really know exactly when it is. There's
Yeah.
also adult film actress in this, Emily Willis.
Oh,
Yeah, she's in the first scene. She has sex with Steven Dorff's character.
and you're a big fan?
No, not necessarily. No, I know of her just because she's like just one of the more well-known adult film actresses
Okay,
of the
I didn't.
day.
Okay.
Like I was telling someone at work about this movie earlier tonight, and they were like, "Oh, she's number 3 on Pornhub or whatever as most viewed something
Oh my
something." So
gosh.
I was like, "Yeah, wow, how about?" I'm like, "You really know that, huh?" And he was like, "Shamefully, yes." But yeah, so she's in it for a brief moment. I could think it's just there to tell us about who this character. It's very
Yeah, no,
masculinity.
that's good for them for hiring
Yeah, I
an
thought it was
adult.
cool too.
Yeah.
And I'm like, as the sex scene goes on, I was kind of like, oh, wow, that's pretty impressive for an actress to do these kind of scenes, because it's pretty explicit. And I'm
Yeah.
like, and then when it clicked, I'm like, oh, she's an adult film actress, so this is just another day at work for her.
Yeah.
But overall,
That's what I figured.
Mitch,
That was
this
Siri.
movie,
I'm sorry.
that's okay. This movie is great, Mitch. You have to see it. It's only an
I'm
hour,
excited.
only an hour and 20 minutes or so. This is a cult classic in the making, and I haven't even gotten to the best part yet. There are scenes in this that are shot using claymation and stop motion animation,
Oh, I love that.
and it's spliced in so coolly. So let's say Steven Dorff at one point breaks free of his bondage, and now this chemical has been dripping in him for days and days and days. And so it has made him a monster. Big old head. His arms are the size of my torso. He's just a gross, fleshy, muscly. And so he's on a rampage to kill these guys that did it to him. And so instead of a regular fight scene, it's a claymation or stop motion scene where punches have little sparks that fly, and they can do power ups. And it's just so balls to the wall, crazy weird. that I absolutely loved it. I was the only one in the theater, unfortunately, to see this. I laughed at a few. I laughed because I was so shocked by what I was seeing a few times.
That's cool.
Yeah. So, and I'm like, what made Soderbergh get involved in this? It makes me like him even more. It's so cool that
Oh
he would
yeah,
pick a
he's so
project
great.
like
Yeah.
this. So, yeah, I want to just see if there's anything else. There's really great sound design and Foley. You know, like I said, the punches, other noises, people walking through the house. Um,
I'm
and
getting like Mad God vibes from it almost.
yes. Very,
Yeah.
very similar. And I'll say this is a movie that has style over substance, but the substance or the style is so fucking cool that the substance doesn't matter as much.
Right.
That's what I
Okay.
want to say about this movie.
See,
So
I didn't like Mandy so much, but I'll give this a shot for
yeah,
sure.
this is when I say it reminded me of Mandy a little bit, that's just based on the visuals
Yeah,
and
yeah,
how it looks, how things are
yeah.
shot. That's all the similarities are there. Yeah, it's just
Okay.
weird. It's just so weird. And I appreciate that. I like when a movie can come out of
Yeah.
nowhere with an idea that's unique like this. And I think you dig it. I really think you do. So Bella
I
Thorne's role,
will.
let me just say that. Let's see, you see her. So in this world, like 94% of women cannot give birth.
Oh,
And if you take this medicine, you definitely can't give birth.
okay.
So she is talking to a group of women, and they're in these like weird jumpsuits, in a white room, and she's just saying like, "There's one other woman here that's pure, and that's the escort that he had hired to come over, not the porn
Yeah.
star, but this other one, this other lady." So Bella Thorne and her girl's mission is to go rescue and get this woman because she can still give birth. She hasn't taken that medicine yet. So that's what her
Hmm.
role is in the movie. But yeah, man, it is crazy. It's weird. I would definitely watch it again. I gave it 4 stars. I really like this. It's
Nice.
cool. It's Divinity
That's awesome.
2023. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Um.
oh no, never mind. It's not A24.
Okay. Okay. So that was
Okay.
Divinity. I'm excited about that now. I honestly didn't never cross my radar until you sent me the poster, and I was like, "What is this?"
Yeah, and it was only showing at a few spotty theaters. I actually had to go to a new theater I had never been to before to see it. And yeah, I think you'll at least find it interesting at the very
Yeah.
least because it is just so bizarre. So, all right, what's next?
As I go through these three, can you just look up because I'm going to talk about these three movies that Ant has already talked about at some point over the last couple months. I'm not going to go into crazy detail. And if you just don't mind just checking where they're streaming,
Sure.
for people, I don't know if they are. Some of them are VOD. The first one I literally just watched before we started here is The Royal Hotel. That is Kitty Green's new movie. She did The Assistant with Julie Garner. Um, this is a movie about these two girls, and they're in Australia. They don't have a lot of money, so they go to somewhere like a career establishment. They help them find a job, and it's out in the middle, like the middle of nowhere near a mining company, and they need girls to run the bar for like 2-3 weeks. They get a good amount of money,
You can stay
and
there.
yeah, they get to stay. The rooms are up top of the bar, blah blah blah. Um, but as you can imagine, out in the middle of nowhere, not a lot of other women, a lot of guys who are uh, rough, horny. You know, there's not a lot of stuff going on. So the one girl in particular, Julie Garner's character, she is the first day she wants to leave. Guys are throwing their tips at her, hitting on her, telling her stupid jokes, you know, and
Yeah, and the lady that set them up with the job said, there's going to be some male attention, as she described it.
yeah, didn't he tried to like she tried to play it down. Um, I found this movie really interesting because this is a man-hating movie. This is, and I don't mean that in a bad sense. We've gotten
Right.
a lot of them, you know, promising young woman and onwards. The Assistant being one of them. This is one showing you from a female perspective, and I don't like and that female dread. This movie made you feel that female dread that you and I have not really been able to feel
Yeah, probably never. Yeah.
ourselves as males. Um, And then, oh my gosh, like especially later on, like there's like one female, and then she ends up like who helps run the place, and she ends up leaving, and then it's just these two girls and all these men. Like I was like really worried for them.
Yeah, you definitely worry about their safety throughout this because they're all drunk
Yes,
men that work all day and they come to this bar to get drunk. And
exactly.
yeah, some of them are nicer, some of them are more aggressive, and you can't. The movie's good
Yeah,
about not really giving in on what is the real danger level here. You know, is it
exactly.
just someone being flirty and telling sick, like gross, perverted jokes, or is this
Hmm.
one guy who kind of walks up to their room at night have like seriously fucked up intentions? You know, so it's
Yeah.
good about like putting you in their unease, like
Hmm.
how they would actually feel.
Now, I'm gonna try to tiptoe across this, but Julie Garner's character is not very likable anyways.
Yeah, if you remember from my review, I said, and I feel bad. I was like, she has like that resting bitch face. She just, I think I said this. I think I said she just doesn't seem like someone I would want to hang out with much. She's just not the kind of person that I would like. And that doesn't mean anything's wrong with her. We're just different people.
Yeah. And when she shows up to the bar on the first night, the two girls who worked there before,
Yes.
they are leaving, and they're up on the bar showing their boobs, and
Yeah, dancing on
and
top of the bar
they
like
are
crazy.
completely different girls than the two girls showing up. Um, why that may be, I don't know. And so this girl shows up, and none of the guys, well, they all want to have sex with her, but they don't like her because they think she's a bitch and too stuck up. She
And she
won't.
doesn't smile. Like the
Yeah,
bar owner is played by Hugo Weaving. He's like, come
he was
on, at
great.
least have a
Yeah,
smile, you know?
yeah. Hugo Weaving was great, almost unrecognizable. He's
Yes.
playing like this drunk, bar owner, and there's a lot of good stuff here. I was really interested to see that it's only got 50% audience score, but at like
That's
an
funny. Yeah.
86%. And I went and looked, and it was a lot of people just saying that they were bored. Um, I don't think I was ever bored. I guess it was hard for me to. There's one point where there's this really kind of nice guy, and he's interested in her, but she really shuts him down in a pretty shitty way,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that's fine. She doesn't have to
Right.
have sex with him, but I don't know. I don't know. She's so uptight that she can't have any fun, but she's also kind of scared for her life, so I don't blame her. Like
Right.
I don't know.
It's a tough tightrope. And then her friend, Jessica Henwick, she kind of loosens up and she kind of is like, yeah,
Yeah.
Julia, chill. Like, we're having fun. Like,
Hmm.
it's not as bad as you seem. And she kind of buddies up with one of the guys
Yeah.
and it kind of puts them at heads. And now her only
Yeah.
kind of friend and defense is now kind of left her. So she's like really scared. So
And she gets the nobody believes her, and that
yes,
these things are happening, and no, there's some really tense scenes. I don't think it was boring. I think this is a 3.5 star movie. I think
cool.
you could do a lot worse. This was a lot of fun. So
Yeah, I gave it 2.5 because
okay.
I didn't like it that much. It's
Hmm.
not a bad movie. I think it really is great. I think it would be great if you and I were women, if we were women in our 30s,
Yeah.
women in our 20s, and our teens.
Yeah.
Like I think women would much more identify with this movie than we do.
Yeah. Yeah. I
But
think so too.
yeah, it's definitely not bad. It's interesting.
Yeah. Okay. And
So
then
that's available on VOD. You have to buy it right now.
okay, you rent it. So, and then I finally saw You Hurt My Feelings. That's what the movie's called, You Hurt My Feelings. I didn't write any notes because this is just a joy of a movie. I love it's Julie Louis Dreyfus and oh, what's his name? He's Tobias Menzies. You'd know him to see him. And then Michaela Watkins is kind of the other.
Yep.
Owen Teague. Anyways, but this is directed by Nicole Center.
Yes.
She directed Enough Said. She has written a lot of movies. Like she helped write. Well, she directed Can You Ever Forgive Me, and then she helped write The Last Duel. Um, Both really good
Oh,
movies.
yeah. The Last Duel was
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, she joined Matt Damon and Ben Affleck in helping them write that. So and so she's one of my favorite working directors and writers. So I was really excited about this. She just has a unique eye. She has a certain flavor, and she just does it really well. It's just real life. It's a real life situation. It's a and Yeah, Julie Louis Dreyfus overhears her husband talking about her book
Her latest book,
and
yeah.
her latest book and saying that he doesn't like it. And the movie is basically, when should we lie? When should we give
Yeah.
that little
Is a
white
white
lie?
lie
Is
safe?
it
How do you? Yep.
exactly? Is it okay? Should we? Should we not? Will it tear this marriage apart? What? And I love the relationship between them. I love the relationship between her and her son,
Yep.
and her sister. I love Michaela Watkins. She's one of my. I think she's an underrated actor. Her relationship with her husband is really funny. He's an actor. He's
Right.
playing an actor. Um, so this is another 4 star. This is another hit for me. I love all. I loved it. So
Yeah, I gave this one 4 stars as well. And this is
yeah,
also, you have to rent or buy it on Apple TV, Amazon, Vudu, YouTube, whatever.
yeah.
But yeah, this is a great movie. You can watch with anybody.
Mm-hmm.
It's really
Mm-hmm.
funny. It has some really funny parts. It's only 90 minutes or 93
Yeah.
minutes. It's just great. You hurt my feelings.
Yeah.
It's really, really good.
I'm glad you 4 stars as well, because sometimes I feel like I'm always just like a star and a half above you, or like a star above you. But
Yeah, and I like that though, man. Because
yeah,
I don't want to. I like a fear of mine is like being that stuffy critic who hates everything,
yeah.
and I never want to get to that way. And it's like it's just a movie. Like if yeah,
Yeah, Greg from Cinematics has kind of shown me that, what,
yes,
if you liked a movie, give it 3.5 stars, give it 4 stars if you
yep,
really liked it, So I
yeah.
haven't been as stingy as I used to be about it.
I think that's a good
Um,
approach. Yep.
so we're ending up with Nyad.
Yeah.
This
What'd you
is
think of this movie? I reviewed this last week, right?
last week. So Diana Nyad, at the age of 60, with the help of her best friend and coach, commits to achieving her lifelong dream, a 110-mile open ocean swim from Cuba to Florida. You had told me a lot about this movie. You had told me you really liked this movie. This is Annette Bening and Jodie Foster, um, and Reese Ifan. Uh, this movie's great. I loved
Good.
it. John loved it. Loved it. This is on
Good.
Netflix now. Just came out Friday, and I don't want to sell it. I know some people are kind of not as up on it as
Mm.
as us. Like, it's getting praise, but I think like people are seeing that praise, then going to watch it, and then their hopes were too high.
Yeah. Yep.
But this movie does a lot of cool things, a lot of great ocean shots, and the technology that Diana uses, and Annette Bening. Oh my God, they
Crushes
almost
it.
look identical. She crushes it. They look similar. She is like no makeup throughout, just bearing it all. Um, yeah, and Jodie Foster, she's pretty good. I didn't absolutely love her, what she was doing, but
Okay.
I rolled with it by the end. It's emotional. I don't see why you would dislike this movie. This is
Yeah, right. It's
it,
very inspirational. It makes you feel like, oh, I got to achieve something. This is amazing that this lady
yeah,
did this. And
and the way, sorry,
one thing I learned since I reviewed it last week or heard about was there's not many movies where you have platonic friendships between two women, especially
yeah,
two older women. So
and
they are both gay, but they're not dating
and
each
two
other.
women who have dated, like, what I
Yeah.
mean, they dated once, and like it's
Yeah, when they were younger.
their relationship is good now.
Yeah, they're just good, like
Friendship.
they're best friends. And it's cool to see that. It's cool they didn't force in a relationship and a big
Yeah.
kiss at the end,
Yeah.
So that was something else that I heard someone else say, and I'm like, yeah, that's really true. That's really true. And then you didn't say this is directed by the people that did Free Solo
Yes, thank you.
and The Rescue, I think it was called, right? Yeah.
Yes. I loved how they incorporated the archival footage.
Yes, me too.
Because this woman tried to do this when she was like 28.
Yep.
So she's turned 60. She feels like her life is over. So she's like, "Well, I'm gonna fucking do it." And it's lovely. The makeup's good.
The makeup's really good, and there's talk about it for being nominated because, yeah, when you see her, I mean, you think about being in the water straight
Oh,
for 50 hours, the
yeah.
crusty salt around her face and nose,
Yeah.
and they just, as she does these attempts, these new challenges keep coming up: the currents, the sea life, sharks,
Yes.
seeing at night,
I
being able to
learned
eat.
I learned so much. Like I didn't know any of this. Like I didn't know anything about an open ocean swim. Nothing.
Same.
Like the lights they had to use, the jellyfish, the sharks, how they repelled them, the team she needed,
Yep.
the money she had to collect. It's just it's all great. I loved it. Annette Bening, I would love to see an Oscar nom for her.
Same.
Um, I feel like there was one other thing I was gonna say. But yeah, no, I really like this. I'm 4.5 on this one. I
Yeah.
just
The ending is so fun. It's just like, oh, it's
mhm.
like you want to just cheer and jump up, and be like,
And
yes.
you're tense. You're
Oh
so
yeah, you're so
tense.
tense. You're
Oh
so
man,
tense.
yeah.
It's really
So
inspirational. I mean,
it
she was
is.
60, like 3 or 4 by the time she does this. And so
Yeah,
even though
yeah. She
even though
gets
you
over.
know
Yeah,
the story, it's really cool. And they do at the end of this, unlike Priscilla, give us title cards,
yeah,
pictures, all
yeah,
kinds of stuff. Her on talk shows, which is a
yeah.
really nice way to wrap it up. So
They
good. I'm
really
so
wrapped
glad you
that up
liked it.
well.
I'm glad you
Oh,
liked it.
it was just great. I don't understand. I don't know. I don't. Oh, that's what I was gonna do. I just wanted to read what my friend posted about it.
Yeah.
I have a friend, Matt Stillman. Um, he said, I really enjoyed this retelling of Diana Nyad's swim from Cuba to Florida after the age of 60. Um, and then he said, I've known Bonnie, played by Jodie Foster, for over 20 years and have met Diana multiple times.
Oh, cool.
The film captures them accurately. Foster looks like she's wearing Bonnie's actual clothes. Annette Bening nails Diana's spectrumy focus. And I didn't think about that until he said that. Her like that she seems a little on the spectrum.
Yeah,
Um,
she does. She's real abrasive, and
mhm.
let's say she's a bitch in a lot of
She
this. She's
can be, yeah,
cruel. And
yeah,
I like that they don't shy away from that. This is a, warts and all movie
yeah,
where this is a real person. This is how some people are. And that shows that brings us awesome conflict between Bonnie and her and the ship
exactly.
captain and the weather, because she wants it so bad, but they got to make sure she's safe.
And
So,
these people, Bonnie and the ship captain, who get to know her, so get to know that this is what she's like and
yep.
accept her and love her. Um, excuse me. So yeah, I have a friend who knows Bonnie, which was
That's so
so
cool.
so interesting to hear. Matt, I'm so glad he piped in and said that because he said they captured it perfectly, and this movie does a good job of showing you that they captured it perfectly.
Yeah.
Like they
Yep.
did, yeah. Um. So, anyways, sorry, I will. I'm just gonna go to my little black box of movies. I'm sorry, we're only over an hour, but it feels like longer because we recorded our Patreon episode before this, which I will be releasing this week for Patreon only. Should have said that at the beginning.
That's all right.
I saw Sleeping Dogs from 1977. This wasn't recommended by a friend or anything. This was recommended by Sam Neill's memoir
Oh, yeah, yeah.
that I read, and he went through a list of movies he was like really proud of, and this was one of them. And it's a smaller film. It hasn't got a whole lot of. It's a New Zealand film. I didn't recognize anybody else in it. But following the breakup of his marriage caused by his wife's affair with another man named Bullen, Smith arrives to live on an island, the Coromandel Peninsula, an island owned by the Maori tribe. There's political tension. There's an oil embargo, and the country, New Zealand, is in ruins. Like there's fighting between guerrillas, not guerrillas, but they're like
Yeah, guerrilla
guerrilla
fighting
fighters, and then the army. It's turned into a civil war, and Sam Neill's character just wants to be. He wants nothing to do with it. but it is shattered his idyllic life when a bomb explodes nearby, and he is kind of framed for
right? He's
it.
implicated in it. Yeah.
Yeah, have you seen this?
No, I was just reading
Oh,
the summary.
yeah. This movie takes a lot of turns. He and and I love this movie. This is a 4.5
Cool.
star. It's streaming on Tubi, so you can go watch it right now. Sam Neill's great, very handsome. Like he's a young guy in this. So, like,
Yeah, I see he's got a big beard.
yeah, and this goes places I didn't expect it to. He ends up like kind of you know, having to like become buddy buddy with the guy who his wife had an affair with,
Right.
and they have a interesting chemistry, but it doesn't feel like jokey. It's real, and it turns into like it's a war movie almost with like a drama and even some romance in there. It's really good. I suggest everyone to seek this out. It's on Tubi. I fucking loved it.
Right.
I don't want to. I don't want to sell it too high, but directed by Roger Donaldson. He did No Way Out from 1987, 13
that's a good
Days from
movie.
2000, and Dante's Peak
Cool.
are some of his. But yeah, so this is one that Sam Neill said he was excited about. So finally was able to watch that, and I'll pull out the box. And we'll see. I'm just decided that if I don't I don't have to rush. I can watch it whenever, right? Yeah. You know what? This is another Sam Neill one, so I'm gonna put it back, and I'm gonna pick a different one. Orca, put in there by my mother. So
Nice.
I will be watching Orca for my mom, Tracy Burns. She is in the hospital right now. So love you, Mom. You will listen to this eventually, I know. So I hope you're doing better soon. So that's good. I get to watch a movie for you, so I'll message you about that. Aunt, do you mind? I've been talking so much, and do you mind doing some of the or you want to do the coming to theaters, and I'll do streaming? Okay.
Yeah. So coming to theaters. As we talked about at the top of the show, The Marvels, everyone knows what this is.
Yeah. Brie Larson.
Coming this weekend. I'm hoping to see this Wednesday night at the, as a preview screening with the theater employees. We'll see about that. Dream Scenario, we also mentioned earlier, this is the A24 movie starring Nicolas Cage, which already has 90s Rotten Tomato score, produced by Ari Aster, which is exciting.
Yeah.
It's the short synopsis is: a hapless family man finds his life turned upside down when millions of strangers suddenly start seeing him in their dreams. That's a pretty cool
I mean,
premise, right?
Yeah.
When his nighttime appearances take a nightmarish turn, Paul, Nick Cage, is forced to navigate his newfound stardom. And then Journey to Bethlehem, starring Antonio Banderas.
I don't know. I just came out of nowhere.
Yeah, and I checked, and this is showing near me this weekend, so I'll probably see it. This live-action Christmas musical adventure for the entire family weaves classic Christmas melodies with humor, faith, and new pop songs in retelling of the greatest story ever told, story of Mary and Joseph and the birth of Jesus. This will be, if I see this, I'll see this late. Like the other ones will have priority over a Christmas musical about Jesus.
Are you Catholic? Is it okay to ask?
I was raised Christian, but I kind of left the faith at age 14 or so.
Gotcha.
But Christianity has produced a lot of great art, so
I agree.
I'm here for it.
Yep.
Lucky Day. After a dispute over a winning lottery ticket turns into a deadly hostage situation, the witness must decide exactly how far they'll go and how much blood they're willing to spill for a cut of the 156 million. This stars Angus Cloud, who died in July of this year, so this is his last movie. Then the next one, we also think we mentioned this. Anyway, It's a Wonderful Knife. This is a Christmas comedy horror starring Joe McHale and Justin Long and a few others. And then Manodrome, which is Jesse Eisenberg plays Ralphie, a New York Uber driver struggling to make ends meet with his pregnant partner. And he's introduced to an intense all-male self-help group by a friend. And after suffering a breakdown, descends into madness. It also stars Adrian Brody and Odessa Young. This kind of sounds like The Art of Self-Defense. Remember that movie?
Yeah.
Sounds like that in a little bit. And then also showing near me is The Holdovers. That's the Paul Giamatti feel-good movie.
like this upcoming weekend?
Yeah, this coming Friday.
Because I know
It's
you
showing
saw it
there.
at, oh yeah, you saw it at a preview screening. So I
No,
hope
I
it.
couldn't see it. It was showing at 2 p.m. It was showing only at 2 p.m. last Sunday,
So you
or
didn't.
this
So you
past
didn't.
2 Sundays ago. This the
Right.
previous Sunday, and I wasn't home. I was out of town or something, so I
Okay. Well,
couldn't.
that's one I'm really excited
Me
about.
too. Me too. I can't wait to see that. So,
Um,
so yeah, what's coming to streaming?
So streaming now, I think I'm gonna watch this on Netflix. It's called The Improv. I think anybody
I've heard of
who
this.
really knows comedy will know The Improv is I think a New York, a comedy club called The Improv. So the documentary is called The Improv: 60 Years and Still Standing. 10 top comics hit the stage to celebrate the 60th anniversary of the Improv Comedy Club in this special featuring archival footage of iconic performers.
That
So
sounds great. I'll watch this
yeah,
too.
yeah, this I love this.
One thing we should talk about or put in the news segment is the Hassan Minaj stuff. Have you been followed any of that? He's a comedian that the New Yorker did a profile on.
Oh no.
Oh yeah, so the New Yorker, I'll just quickly did a profile
Okay.
on and basically called him out for making up racist stories to sell his comedy better because he's Indian or something.
Oh
Um,
my.
and yeah, people got pissed. First of all, well, we can go into it. People got really pissed. They're like, "Oh, you're faking this for whatever, woke points." But then he just released a 20-minute answer and with receipts because he has recordings of what the actual interview was like. And basically the New Yorker really stretched the truth and lied about a lot of shit. So this was big in the news a couple weeks ago. So I'll put that in the next
Okay.
news
What's
tonight. I'll send you
his name?
Hassan Minaj, Hisan, Hassan Minaj.
Okay. Oh, I know him. Yeah, he's
Yeah,
an
you
actor
recognize
too.
him. Yes. He's really funny. He's a funny guy.
Yeah, he is very funny. Oh, that's too bad.
It's
The New
really
Yorker.
unfortunate.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did him bad. So
Yeah.
that was comedy,
Yeah,
comedy
so
related.
yeah, this the what was I called? The Improv 60 Years and Still Standing has Craig Robinson, Dion Cole, Whitney Cummings, Burt Kreischer, Kevin
Awesome.
Nealon, Jeff Dunham. So
Awesome.
so yeah. On November 6th on Disney Plus, JFK: One Day in America. It'll be 3 episodes, and the titles of each episode are the first one, Assassination, Manhunt, and Revenge, because this month it is 60 years since his assassination. Thanks for fixing that. The Killer is finally going to be on. Is that? Oh, I didn't even write Netflix. November 10th, so that is this Friday. Stamped from the Beginning will be on Netflix this weekend as well, following the roots and evolution of racist concepts in the United States in order to understand today's society. So, the last thing we have to do before we let you go. This hasn't been a crazy long episode. It just seems longer because we are starting a new little thing where we're gonna assign each other a movie. We're not assigning each other anything today, but we are going to take a movie that is coming out in theaters this weekend and guess the box office. Are we? Do you want to do domestic or worldwide?
I think we should do domestic. It might be
Okay.
easier for us.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So, what do you want to do? I'm guessing the Marvels we should do, eh?
Yeah. Let's do
Okay.
Marvels. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. This will be interesting because
Yeah.
there's been a lot of hand wringing about, oh, this might be Marvel's lowest. Da, 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 da.
Yeah. So,
All right. So I
what do we?
guess.
RT game. I'll put it down here.
Yeah. I'm gonna guess.
Wait. We should say it at the same time.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Give me a second. I don't have a number. Number.
Yeah.
We're not doing R2. We're doing RT. We're doing box office.
Box office dollars. Yeah. And just to be transparent, I've read an article or have heard
Me too.
that okay, so you know what estimates are supposedly being somewhere between. Yeah. All right.
Or 55 and something around there.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
Okay. 3, 2, 1. 61.
65.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Whoever's
So
closest wins.
and then gets to assign the other person a movie.
Yeah. Cool.
Mitch 61, Ant 65. Okay, so that's just our new little game. I don't know. We kind of been talking like God, you need to watch this because you'd love it, and he'd be like, no, you need to watch this because you'd love this.
Yeah.
So
We
it's like
need something
now,
like this.
yeah. So now this
Because
is
I
gonna
would
be a
love to
way.
get you to watch New Order. That New
Yeah,
Order.
I wrote
that
it down
one,
last week, but
That one. And then
yeah.
what was the one I was mentioning to you today?
Well, not the one you reviewed, is it?
No,
I
no.
can't.
I thought we were texting about it.
Oh yeah, we were.
And I know you would assign me The Handmaiden.
Yeah, that's
Um,
true. That is true. Yes, I gotta make a list. Oh, the Celine Dion one
yes. Oh my God, Aline.
from 2020.
You would really find that fascinating because
Yeah,
and the Canadian connection too. Yeah. So once we
yeah,
start going through this, we'll be able to assign each other some cool movies.
yeah. I should keep a list on my phone
I know I need to as
when I
well.
think of it. So, all right, everybody, go follow us on the Hollywood Persona Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Threads, YouTube, Linktree / Mitch Burns, Ant Paul 311 on Instagram, Ant's Movies on Letterboxd. I'm on Letterboxd too. Thank you everyone for listening. Ant, anything to say?
No, man, this is great. Go check
Yeah,
us out on Patreon if you want to, and if you can
yeah,
remember to just give us a star rating or something, that always helps.
yeah. We got our first episode. We had some fun there. We played some games and
that was cool. That was cool.
That was
and then
cool.
Mitch, we need to decide on a date of when we will do Matt's movie. So
yeah,
maybe we can review that next week if we want to, and I'll pick a
okay,
night and I'll watch it at home.
okay. I can be down for that, and then we can talk about it on Sunday.
Yeah. All right.
All right. Okay, Matt. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. Okay. All right. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Stop.
Yeah. Stop.
Thank you for listening to the Hollywood Persona podcast. You can find us on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook at The Hollywood Persona. Feel free to email the show at thehollywoodpersona@gmail.com and make sure to rate, share, and follow on whatever platform you're listening to our show on. It's the little things that help. Thank you.
And you little shithead, you're staying here.